Here we go, friends. Episode 1 of my series on the Expanse. Today we'll be taking a look at episode 1 of the third season, titled Fight or Flight. What follows are my top 10 WTF moments from the episode. The third season follows the plot of the third book in this series, Abaddon's Gate, for the most part. So in the following videos, when I refer to the source material or the book or the novel, I am talking about that book. Coming in at number 10, open war between Earth and Mars. With tensions so high given the fallout from the finale of Season 2, it would seem obvious to most that war was coming. In the book, this just isn't the case. Everyone works hard to avoid war, since we now know that the universe isn't just ours, and that there is a species out there that vastly surpasses us from a weapons and technology standpoint. Even with the horrible events on Ganymede, the push was to find a way to do a status quo that would let humanity get ready for whatever is coming next, as opposed to an all-out war between the Belters, the Earthers, and the Martians. Number 9, a hitchhiker on the Roci. This is some nice foreshadowing there, writers. Technically, this plot point doesn't come up until a later book, and it's only mentioned in passing, so it was a pleasant surprise to have it folded into the story here. And it is incredibly important down the line. I don't want to say much about it because I don't want to ruin the reveal, but remember this scene. It's going to be very important later to explain some craziness that happens. Number 8, no family here. One of the things that has disappointed me most about this show is how they handle the characters, specifically the crew of the Roci. When you first meet them in the original novel, they have been serving on the Cant together for 5 years, and Holden was the XO that whole time, I believe. They were a close-knit, efficient unit that, while not a family, wasn't as dysfunctional as we have seen on the show. By the time they go through the events of the first season/book, they have become a family, and the Roci is their home, which is why this scene with Amos and Alex is such a WTF for me. The entire idea of Amos saying this isn't a family, this isn't a home, was just so far from what I got from the source material that it was jarring. Number 7, new name and colors. This is a change from the novels that I think works really well. With the Roci being the most famous ship in the galaxy, it always seemed odd that they were able to just fly around all willy-nilly. Having them change their name and drive signature during war, that is now about to get real nasty, seems like a sane move on their part. So yeah, sometimes changes to the source material help. Number 6, Chrisjen the Traitor. One of the things that is sorely missing from this show, in my opinion, is the political intrigue that is peppered throughout the novels. In the book, Chrisjen is not labeled a traitor and scheduled for termination. As she likes to say numerous times in the books, that isn't how the game is played. Instead, she is sidelined and boxed in until whatever plans her political rivals have are to the point that her interference won't mean much. I get that you need to slim a book down to a story that is tellable in 10 to 13 episodes, but if you're going to bring in the UN storyline, and they brought it in the first season, even though those characters aren't introduced until a later book, then people do it justice. Give us shrewd political maneuvering and back-channel deals. Please. Number 5. Why is everyone a friggin' jerk? One of my favorite characters from the novels is Fred Johnson. He is a beautifully flawed character trying to make amends for past misdeeds, and trying to make amends without being the military leader he once was. Which is why every time Fred is on screen, it's just irritating. The actor is great, but what he is given to work with just isn't. And it's not just him. All of the characters have been changed in ways that don't make a lot of sense. All the way back to the first season, when they made Shed not really a medic, but someone running from a past having to do with drugs. None of these changes have made the characters or the stories more interesting and compelling in my mind. Just the opposite, actually. Number 4. Praxidike Ming, or Praxidix, or that's a really hard name. This was one of those rare changes to a character that was excellent. Prax was one of the most annoying characters in the novels, and I was a little worried to see how they would handle his translation to the screen. He was always half-hinged, shallow, and just hard to deal with from a narrative standpoint. Thankfully, that isn't the case with his screen version, and the actor chosen to play him is fantastic. I'm looking forward to more as the story unfolds with Prax and how he integrates into the team, if you will. Number 3, Alex the Deadbeat. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about this. We don't really know much about the pasts of the crew in the novels. At least I don't yet. I'm only, 4 books in. So it seems a little odd that they would give Alex a moment that would go from touching to horrible in 5 seconds flat. I mean, how horrible of a person do you have to be to record a video to your wife and son telling them that you love them, just not as much as flying a tin can around in hard vacuum? I always really liked his character in the books, so this is a bit of a letdown for me. And another example of the writers choosing to change aspects of the characters to make them less lovable. It just doesn't make any sense. Number 2 is Naomi the Heartless. Speaking of destroying great characters, let's talk about Naomi. The scene near the end where she tries to convince everyone that they should just abandon May, turn tail and run for Tycho, yeah, that was some grade A BS. Naomi would never do that, and in fact did not do that in the source material. I just don't understand the goal of making the characters less noble and moral. I just don't. I don't get it. Which leads us to number 1, Enter the Behemoth. Oh man, I really hope they do some cool stuff with the Nauvoo. Soon to be the Behemoth this season, I hope. The very idea of this ship, a structure capable of navigating the stars, a generational ship, with fields of growing food, lakes and skies, it's truly amazing and embodies one of the most encouraging aspects of humanity, the willingness to attempt the impossible. Of course, it is then transferred into the largest, most ridiculous warship in the universe, again embodying an aspect of humanity, taking something beautiful and making it ugly by turning it to war. So I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do with the Behemoth / Nauvoo as this season unfolds. Okay, that's it. That is my top 10 for the first episode of Season 3. I'm going to be doing my best to get these videos out on Thursday since the show airs on Wednesday. And hopefully the next video you see on this channel will be my Season 1 overview review. I'm not going to go back and do individual videos for Season 1 and 2, but I'm going to do an all-encompassing look at the season, comparing it to the book it's based on for 1 and 2. And I hope to have Season 1 out next week before the second episode of Season 3, and then the following week I will have the Season 2 overview out before the next episode airs that week. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions or comments or concerns, or you have something you would like me to talk about as it has to do with the Expanse. I'm planning on doing some deep dive videos like I do in Shannara. Things like, what do they say, down the well and up the well, and the history of the movement from Earth to the belt as it pertains to the Expanse. So I'll see you guys again soon, and I will talk to you later.